The Manitoba Choral Association is welcoming in a new executive director, Karla Ferguson, no stranger to choral audiences in the province of Manitoba, not only a founding member of the Canadian Chamber Choir, but also a frequent singer in ensembles like Canzona, Polychoral, Proximus 5, Dead of Winter, and probably another 4 or 5 choirs that I have forgotten to name in this moment. Her official first day is later on this month, but before she begins her tenure in earnest, Karla Ferguson joins me in the Classic 107 studios this morning. Hello and congratulations.
Thanks, Nolan.
How exciting is this? I mean, first of all, what was your reaction when you found out that you were going to get to do this job?
It felt a little unreal, like this is just a confluence of kind of all my favorite things. So I was like, is this actually happening?
Totally. It is actually happening.
Yeah.
And we were just chatting a little bit. You're going from one 50th anniversary to another. You've been working with the Winnipeg Folk Festival for a number of years and now into the Manitoba Choral Association celebrating its 50th year coming up. What are you going to bring from your experience with an organization like the Winnipeg Folk Festival into this new role as executive director with the Manitoba Choral Association?
Yeah. Well, and I would just give a shout out to us classical folks who also love folk music. The Folk Fest community is an amazing group of folks, and I will always be just infinitely grateful to my time there. I was there for 18 years, and an organization, the Folk Fest is really a cornerstone event of our province.
Yeah.
And to be able to learn kind of best practices of how to run a non-for-profit. And in my role as a volunteer manager, I really ended up touching almost every element of how the festival operates. So, communications and fundraising and event production is a big one.
Sure.
But mostly dealing with people and and building community, I think, are the biggest gifts I think that I bring from there. And I think I was chatting with Trudy Schroeder, who moved on to WSO. She was my first boss at the Folk Festival.
Wow.
And I think the mission there is people in music. And I don't think that changes, actually, moving from Folk Fest. And I think that's the other thing I'm really grateful for, is to be able to work for 2 organizations now that are just so rooted in values and just about love of music and love of community. So I think, it just feels like a really natural step from one to the other.
Absolutely. Well, not only as an arts administrator, but also as an artist yourself. We mentioned all of your choral accolades in the introduction there. What sort of ways has the Manitoba Choral Association helped you and the ensembles that you have performed with throughout your career?
Yeah. So I grew up in Saskatchewan. And a lot of the programs that MCA runs are mirrored in our provincial choral federations across the country. And so as a young chorister, I benefited from things like the youth choir system, the provincial honor choirs. And then once I came to Manitoba for university, then I was a participant in Manitoba Youth Choir. Participated in Choral Fest, all of these things. And I think they're just such foundational stepping stones in a young chorister's life. And maybe interestingly, I have a very small, short conducting career, but as a singer and a lifelong singer, I have greatly benefited from programs through MCA and also through programs like the ones that MCA produces. So, yeah.
Such huge parts of the arts community in this province, especially these youth choral programs that have churned out how many countless singers, yourself included, to be able to be a part of that cultural fabric.
Yeah.
At the same time, I'm sure you've got a whole bunch of ideas for things you want to maybe try in your role as executive director, without giving too much away, of course, because obviously you haven't even started the job yet. What sorts of things are you excited to maybe take on in this new role that maybe haven't necessarily been tried yet?
Ooh, that's a toughie. Well, I would say I think I want to just give a shout out to Jenny Steinke-Magnus, who was most recently at the helm of MCA, and I think she just did so much amazing work to bring MCA forward. There's been like technological advances, there's been new programs, lots of work on inclusion and reconciliation. Mm-hmm. So I think, and shepherded MCA through COVID. And that's no small feat.
Yeah.
And I want to name first that I think our choral community still has recovery to do from the pandemic. And just looking at the numbers, the program numbers, they're starting to increase, but they are not what they were pre-pandemic. So I think one of the big goals is to try and boost our singership. If that's not a word, it should be.
It should be now. There's the first goal for you as executive director.
New vocabulary.
Yes, exactly.
To boost our singership across the province and make some gains in those numbers. And whether that's advocacy at the school level or in funding or in government, I'm prepared to have those conversations. So that's a big one. And that's, so I think a little bit stabilizing, trying to recover, and also just preserve and maintain the amazing work that Jenny has done. And I have lots of things to learn and new people to meet. I've
Sure.
been around here for a couple decades, but there's lots of corners of this province I haven't traveled to, and conductors and choirs that I haven't heard. So I think the first year really is about just meeting folks and learning more about the amazing things that I know are happening already.
Yeah.
And then long term, I think one really exciting thing that is coming up is that Manitoba won the hosting bid for Podium, which is the national convention, happens every 2 years. For Choral Canada, it puts it on, and we will be the host province in 2028. So that'll be a long build and take some time to put together, but it's an exciting time to be a part of something like that and to bring our community together and showcase what the singing province is all about.
The singing province, indeed.
Yeah.
To give you a crystal ball here for a second to ask, where do you hope choral music holds its place in this sort of cultural landscape of Manitoba in the next 5 years? If we even think beyond Podium, beyond that, what role do you think choral singing will have in our province as we look ahead to the future?
Yeah, I mean, I think the really special thing about choral music is that the majority of choral musicians in the world are amateurs. Singing is something that everybody can do, and so I think what we want to foster is singers for life, and the vision of MCA is, and I might be getting this in the wrong order, a choir for every singer and a singer for every choir. And so I think, I grew up in small town Saskatchewan where there wasn't a choir to sing in, really.
Sure.
My high school teacher, there wasn't a choir when I got to high school. And he started one probably because of the sad look in my eyes. He told me, he said, this choir is your fault, he said. But I'll take that happily.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah. But I think making sure that there are opportunities for people to sing, and whether it's when they're growing up and wanting somewhere to make music, but also through their entire life to have somewhere that people can feel like they belong and have somewhere to sing. And I think belonging is the other really important part of choir, is choir gives people somewhere to belong.
Yeah.
And I think I am one of the zealots of the choral world. Like, I will hopefully never not have a choir to sing in.
Sure.
But I know that I know what the community can be, that is, and that can be brought together by people singing together. And
Sure.
and in a lot of ways, it's not even important what comes off the stage. It's what happens in those rehearsals. And so, this is a crazy time we live in.
Yes.
And so, if I had a hope, and 5 years is a nice longer number than 4, I think that, I hope singing brings us through some hard things.
Yeah. Listening to you speak about the passion for amateur ensembles, a voice for every choir, a choir for every voice. And now I'm twisting the words that you said. What's the balance for your considerations as the MCA between amateur ensembles, developing ensembles, student ensembles versus assisting the various professional ensembles that are putting Winnipeg on the choral map throughout the rest of the country and beyond?
Yeah, it's a really good question. And I guess acknowledging that, again, the majority of singers are they just want to be singers. I do think that there is a role for MCA and our national organization to play in developing professional singers and young professionals. We're really lucky here in Winnipeg to have so many professional level, even if they're not sort of paid professionally, but professional level choirs. But they don't survive on their own. I think they're just as vulnerable to as any other arts organization to sustainability and I think we owe our singers and the conductors some work to make sure that they also can progress and are getting the supports they need to do their work well. And even in the length of my career, we went from having 2 across the country professional choirs to there are all kinds of amazing high-level choirs across the country, and creating opportunities for collaboration with each other, and just showcasing the amazing work that's going on. They could use some love.
This sounds like they'll be getting plenty of love regardless of their status from you as their new executive director. Karla Ferguson, so great to have you with us, and congratulations again on your new role with the Manitoba Choral Association.
Thanks, Nolan.